My name is Darryl Esau. I'm the Director of Education Services here at Bulletproof Solutions. I guess I'm responsible for the overall running of the Education Services division here at Bulletproof Solutions. Everything from the finances to taking a look at the activity reports of the team, of what they're working on, and HR, and basically just keeping the heat and lights on. I think really the traditional way of networking with your peers or even picking up the phone and calling other organizations that are similar to yours, maybe in a different geography, so there's no competition, and ask them, have you done e-learning? Who have you worked with? Has it been a success? And well, I think it's critical to find out, have companies met their objectives? Has the money been well spent? In speaking with someone else that's used an e-learning provider, would you use them again? Did they stay on budget? Did they stay on time? What were the problems? What were the pitfalls? Understand all of that, and I think that narrowing it down to the standard everybody knows kind of 3 is probably your best bet. I think you have to get rid of some of the clutter, give yourself a break, and identify kind of your top 3. Another place to look is industry forums, magazines, awards. Who's been doing award-winning stuff? Depends on your budget, of course. Some of these ones that are going to be on the award-winning level are not going to be the cheapest. But it depends on your budget and your requirements. So I wish I had an easier answer, but it will take some legwork. Well, I think the very first thing you should do is go through all of the videos that we've produced on this in this academy. That what we've done is made an effort to talk about some of the technical aspects and learn from some of our lessons. And if you look through all of the videos that we've produced, you will see our experts in a vendor-neutral way talk about things that you should really look for in a partner. And the more informed, the more educated, although it may be a little bit time heavy up front, learning all of this stuff definitely will empower you. So when you do start talking to companies, you understand their lingo, you understand their methodology, you understand their impact on their business, and you understand who they are. And I think that this is a little bit difficult, e-learning, because it is all conceptual. And you have to have complete faith in who you're working with, because basically you're trying to create something out of nothing. But education, understanding, and being part of the industry however you can before making a buying decision, I think is critical, and watching all of our videos. Geography really doesn't make a difference. There's no shipping costs. You may choose to have a travel cost if you want for them to do it on site. It's a wonderful opportunity that your vendors can be anywhere in the world, and you can take advantage of currencies. If you're in one country, let's say the United States, you may look at vendors in other countries such as Canada with a lower dollar that you may be able to take advantage of the currency rates. But you do want to pick a vendor that has the same culture as your target audience, so you don't have language barriers, you don't have culture barriers, and that could be a benefit as well, depending where your target audience is. But I do think that now is a great time with the global economy is to look at organizations maybe not down the street, maybe in a different country, and take advantage of their currency. What can be important, and again, this all goes back to the bottom line, is that your costs of production, depending where it's being produced, where it's being designed, and being the front end and the leadership of it can be in one location, and the production can be somewhere else. So even in that case, in speaking frankly with your potential vendor, are they taking advantage of the global economy, and are they, if they're not directly creating, doing the production, which is not uncommon, they're outsourcing the production, is that being done in a location where they're taking advantage of different currencies and different pay scales and so forth. So you need transparency with your vendor. You need to be able to talk to them, and they need to be prepared to answer the question. As much as you can take advantage of the global economy as a vendor, they can take advantage of producing your products, and they should be passing along any of those savings to you. There is a factor in the geography of the vendor that you choose, strictly for time zones. And again, having the center of excellence, the key people that you're dealing with, roughly within the same time zone you are, give or take an hour, is beneficial. Once again, in risk of repeating myself, where the production's done, it's irrelevant. But having if you choose a vendor that's on a different continent, work into your plans that you're going to have significant time zone issues. And does that offset maybe the additional cost of dealing with someone locally? So that's a part of the decision-making process. I'm not suggesting for a second that having your work done around the world is the wrong decision to make, as long as it reaps the benefit financially, scheduling-wise, that offsets the inconvenience of it being on a different time zone. The primary focus and the reason that we're doing all of these and making this effort with these video productions is to empower our clients to be better prepared or best prepared to have a successful outcome. There are so many moving parts in an e-learning, and when one item gets thrown off schedule because of an issue, not only is there a cost to the client for that change, it also affects so many other things. In choosing a vendor, there is a significant investment as part of that selection. Paying them is as negotiable as the actual dollar amount. Talk, understand, be clear with your vendor what their expectations of payment are. We recommend, from the vastness of the experience that we've got from the team, enter into agreement that offer milestones for payment. It's not uncommon to have, upon signing of the statement of work, you're required to pay 25%. That gives them the working capital, or the vendor the working capital to start the work, and then have very clearly defined and agreed upon before any work comes where the next level of payment is, if it's after alpha or design. And then once everything is approved, insist on sign-offs by yourself and your vendor that you've reached that point, and then payment is issued. And as that may be up to 50% or another 25% on top of your initial payment. And schedule it. You can go into 10% increments and 30% increments. It's your taste and your flavor for what you want. You are empowered. The vendor should be willing to negotiate these. Upon final sign-off, we call it gold in our organization here. That means everything is approved, and everything is, and then that's room for the final payment. So that is negotiable. If you're looking and considering an organization that is looking for everything up front, that's a red flag. And if they're looking for no money up front and just payment at the very end of it, that is also a red flag, because there are no checks and balances through the process. There's no interim sign-offs, and this is a safety valve for both yourself and the vendor. It's critical because it is an economic touch point. You'll have plenty of people involved, and you'll hear in another one of our series about the team you've built, but you then also have an economic or a financial person involved in the process. And that is, as we've talked about earlier, these are not inexpensive endeavors. And having partial payments, sign-offs, agreements is a point within the process that you have agreed you won't go back, and you can proceed forward. And again, that's a protection for both you and the vendor, because then there's no surprises.